In my previous video, I looked at the symbolism behind the ever-changing android of the Alien franchise, and how it captures our mixed feelings and fears of technology.
Technology!
In the following video, however, I'm going to explore a very different kind of machine, in the acclaimed family animation from 2024, The Wild Robot. A film that really rubbed me the wrong way, not only finding the film and its characters incredibly grating, but unsettled by its cynical ideas and symbolism. DreamWorks Animation established itself with comedy, but managed to find heart in the successful franchise of How to Train Your Dragon. I think this is largely down to the kinship that develops between people and dragons, transforming these mythical beasts into something much more familiar and domestic. For example, supervising animator for Toothless, Gabe Hordos, based the movements primarily on his cat, as well as other animals. It's also achieved by focusing on their eyes to draw out empathy and emotion. DreamWorks had certainly done this before, but here it conveys a soulfulness that I found to be new. The co-directors of this film also directed Disney's 2002 classic Lilo and Stitch, and were involved in the cannibalization of their films in 2025, both remade in semi-live action CGI as de rigueur. Chris Sanders, it transpires, had some other ideas the year before this as the writer and director of The Wild Robot. The title of the film presents an intentional juxtaposition of nature and technology, very similar to A Clockwork Orange, fusing the organic with the mechanical. Both titles come from the books from which they were adapted, but where Clockwork plays on a Cockney turn of phrase, its imagery conjures the deeper themes at play, about how imposing technology or systems, such as prison or indeed Ludovico technique, on human beings is ultimately doomed to fail. But The Wild Robot does the opposite. It's about a machine in the woods, a mechanical fish out of water, liberated and running free, and its message, which we will get to, is about how nature is in need of correction from a technological force. Without the warm aesthetic of the poster and trailer, the title alone could be a horror film, wild having many definitions, such as uncontrolled, violent, extreme, or angry.
When I caught Gerald in '68, he was completely wild.
Wild? I was absolutely livid.
A different picture comes to mind when combining any of these definitions with the cold and objective term robot, a word from the Czech robota meaning forced labour, traced back further from the Slavic rab meaning prisoner or slave. The first recorded use is attributed to Czech writer Karel Čapek in his 1920 science fiction play about a factory producing machine workers. The story explores ideas about robots, whether or not they have souls or deserve rights, leading to a workers' revolt in which there is a robot uprising, killing most of the humans. The play is titled after the factory, Rozum's Universal Robots. Rozum derived from the Czech word for reason or wisdom, and the inspiration for the name of our central character in The Wild Robot.
I am Rozum 7134.
Just with all of the sinister undertones of murderous robotic revenge tucked surreptitiously into the subtext. The human ability to anthropomorphize knows no bounds.
I can pick up this pencil, tell you its name is Steve, and go like this. Oh. Because people can connect with anything.
It's this facet on which Pixar have built an empire. We've seen numerous cutified robots throughout the decades, from Wall-E to Baymax.
Hello.
Or Johnny 5 to R2-D2. But Rozum 7134 is not so cuddly. She is a personalityless machine, played by Lupita Nyong'o, whose voice work I recently celebrated on this channel with her incredibly distinctive rasp in Us.
There was a girl.
Here Nyong'o is directed into more affectless, sterile territory.
Hello, I am Rozum 7134.
Her performance has the intentionally synthetic cadence of an auto-generated voiceover.
Pav, bow down to your new robot overlord.
And yet she is the protagonist, with whom we are supposed to identify, or feel for at the very least. There's an inherent contradiction here. The film seems to ask us to connect emotionally with a character that's been designed not to connect, in the interest of comedy. Viewing the world through her capitalist programming, like the T-800 scanning for clothes, boots and a motorcycle, she is on the hunt for customers. Rosm7134 is shortened to a more human moniker.
You can call me Roz.
Roz?
Roz. Roz.
But her voice stops you from ever forgetting that she has no soul. Even psychopathic HAL 9000 was more pleasant to listen to, and could belt out a soothing number if the situation required it.
Pav, you're trying to shut my systems down. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't let you do that.
Over the course of the film, Roz will go through some changes, and her voice will even modulate, very, very slightly.
Amazing.
But it's not enough to be any less annoying or make you like her, and her growth should serve as a warning to us all. So, the story. A tech cargo ship loses some of its robots, one of which lands on an island. After scaring the shit out of unsuspecting fauna, Universal Dynamics shill Roz learns how to communicate with the animals. Evolution at hyperspeed. Stumbling upon the predators of this natural order, Roz tries to escape, but trips down the side of a mountain, killing a mother goose, and some of her unborn baby geeses, except for one, which she then adopts. Not out of love, or even guilt, but selfishly needing a mission for her own hardwired sense of purpose. She becomes guardian of this baby gosling.
Goslings imprint on the first thing they see.
But let's not forget, Roz was only around to be imprinted on because she killed his mother. Now she takes on the parental role, but there's no warmth or whimsy.
Roz, how can you just toss him aside after such a tender display of affection?
I can do it with men, too.
She's not intuitive, and so she doesn't learn from pain or joy, she learns by process. It's a performance of love, not the experience of it. Much like the way she adapts for survival on the island, it's simply assimilation. At least it is initially. The island of the wild robot is depicted as a cutthroat breeding ground of needless conflict, where characters have a glib morbidness that is presented as funny somehow, but falling flat on our supposedly neutral and amoral robot.
As a mother of 7. 6 babies.
Quietly though, she is judging and seeing where improvements can be made. Roz's sidekick and companion comes in the form of an antagonist, a sly fox initially looking to snaffle up the egg in her possession. Voiced by the internet's boyfriend, Pedro Pascal, Fink is a smug loner with a cunning streak, who resists authority and operates on instinct and subversion.
I'm a fox. I do foxy things.
Fink fits the bill of the trickster fox archetype, alongside Nick Wilde in Zootopia, and Mr. Fox in Fantastic Mr. Fox. But where these other foxes explore mistrust, social prejudice, or performative masculinity, Fink appears flatter. He serves simply as a symbol of the natural world that must be tamed. So even though Roz has racked up a higher body count at this stage, we stand with her as a kind of protector from this wily manipulator.
So we're doing this.
In the same way that nature is presented as brutal and indifferent, Roz's corporate programming for customer service and conflict resolution starts to feel not just like a funny outsider perspective, but an improvement. She starts to act as a governing body to keep nature from itself, painting a lovely parable of technocratic colonialism. Roz begins the film as a robot unable to fulfill her sole purpose, which seems to give her an existential crisis.
What is my purpose?
You pass butter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome to the club, pal.
A few times throughout the film, she appears to contemplate offing herself, symbolically speaking. In the same way that a sad character in a film can look out off of a bridge and subconsciously we may pick up on their dark thoughts, whether you've seen It's a Wonderful Life or not. When Roz finds herself missionless and therefore without a reason to be, she tries to return back to her maker, as it were, which consists of sitting on top of the highest mountain and staring out, sometimes openly forlorn. Firstly sparked by a lack of purpose, and then after she finds meaning in parenthood, she is brought back to her spot when she experiences some classic teenage rejection.
You don't understand anything. You don't feel anything.
You're not my mom.
Yes, I am!
And then, once again, when Bright Bill leaves for good, returning her to an existence without purpose. At one point she discovers the corpse of another robot. Alongside it, a catalogue and promo video, which acts as a kind of hollow holy text, explaining her function but offering no meaning. An existential reminder that she is a product who doesn't belong here, but rather than leaving, she will stay. And rather than adapt, she will assimilate and subvert from within. Roz's assimilation is aided symbolically. First, she has her leg replaced with a tree trunk, a funny inversion of an artificial limb. Then she is covered with foliage, a second skin that blends her with her new world, or maybe rather provides camouflage.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
It's in the third act that the evil corporation turn up, revealing the Skynet of it all. A final concession that robots can in fact be evil. The swiftly introduced and swiftly dispensed Vontra, who appears like a sentinel.
A sentinel. Killing machine designed for one thing.
Search and destroy.
Becomes the dark reflection of technology, and symbolises some of our current fears around big tech and data usage.
The data you've amassed while on this island is priceless to Universal Dynamics.
But this is only in an effort to establish Roz as good, trustworthy tech, the robot who learned to be more human by becoming a parent. In its final moments, however, the ideas that are presented by Roz as happy resolutions are tinged by their scary real-world implications. Take the small moment where Roz implies that devices are listening to us whilst offline.
Remember when you talked to me on the ship? They cut my power, but I still heard you.
But the most unsettling and quietly terrifying detail is one that is usually the primary concern about artificial intelligence. Roz overwrites her programming.
You overrode your programming?
I have been overwriting my code for months. It was the only way to complete my task.
This is serious.
Asimov's laws be gone. But she does this for good, so it's fine. Observing the cruelty of the natural world and having taught herself to defy her own impulses, Roz now teaches carnivores to not eat each other.
What I'm trying to say is that if I can change, then you can change. Everybody can change!
Repurposing some Noah's Ark imagery that discounts how food chains work, the message of the film on its surface doesn't make evolutionary sense. That the animal kingdom needs to be more harmonious. It makes sense on a symbolic level, that we humans, mostly absent from the film, represented as the natural world, need to overcome our hardwired drive for conflict and get along. But when the film only makes sense on a symbolic level, you have to contend with all of the other ideas that are coded in there, intentional or not, including ideas that technology knows what's best for us, that moral decisions should be deferred to a higher intelligence, perhaps an artificial intelligence, that harmony isn't something we grow toward, but something that can be imposed by force if necessary. Or maybe it's a harmless kids film and I'm overthinking things because I didn't like it. Maybe a bit of both.